I think some of the questions revolve around this. We do telephone town halls, and we did one a little bit over a week ago. And when we do IRS town halls, it just seems like we can't be on the phone long enough, and the IRS provides people, and the taxpayer advocate is there on the phone with us. But I don't think there's anything more complicated than what we're talking about today when it comes to the IRS and the rules and how it works and who's paying fairly and who's taking advantage, and it goes back and forth. I wish we could just get to a situation of, is this a program, is this an agency that runs in the best interest of the people who fund it? And the same people who fund everything else in our government, and that is hardworking American taxpayers. I've got to tell you that from a standpoint of formerly being in the private sector and have, while I was present, I was not in the operation at the time of going through the early days of the pandemic. And one of the things that came out, which was a really good idea, was the employee retention tax credit program. However, we continue to look at programs, and we tend to look at holdups in it. My son runs our business, and I talked to him on the phone about it quite a bit. He said, I think the biggest thing would have been had employers been able to get some help or some counsel on how that was working or how it was supposed to work, how they could do that. But we look back on it now, and we're trying to find out what is going on with that program. And while there's all kind of different figures floating around about what it has cost, I would just caution people to say, you know, anytime we say it costs the government, we keep in mind that it actually then gave taxpayers a break on what comes out of their wallet, knowing that they provide every single penny, either with their wages or by co-signing a loan to fund this incredible operation. So when it comes to the IRS right now and ensuring that small businesses receive their ERTCs, what's the oversight in that, and how can you help us with that? Because I have a number of friends, and I met with our former Representative Billy Long the other day, whose concern for a lot of the people that he still works with is the fact that there is confusion on what quarter is being funded and what is the timeline and what's ending and what's still in operation and where should we go from here.
It's well, first of all, I appreciate the question and the way you worded it, because how you can help. One of the things I've learned early in my tenure here at the IRS is that we can't do this alone. Implementing the tax system is a partnership. It's a partnership with IRS and tax professionals, taxpayers, Congress. The ERC is an incredibly complicated program. It was critical and played a critical role. We issued 3.6 million ERCs to date, and it was an economic lifeline for people that needed it. What happened is the further we got away from the period of eligibility, because the demonstrated loss that you have in order to claim eligibility ended on December 31st, 2021. The further we got away from it, the more aggressive promoters and marketers started, in my opinion, taking advantage of honest small businesses and getting them to believe that they were eligible for a credit they truly weren't eligible for. So 18 months, 19 months, 20 months after that period of eligibility, the number of ERC credits coming in to the IRS was actually increasing. 50,000 a week, 60,000 a week, 70,000 a week. And we started to realize that there were so many ineligible claims in what was coming in. It was getting harder and harder to separate what's ineligible from eligible. And that's why we issued the moratorium in September of 2023, because we wanted to slow the flow of these credits coming in and make sure that we were not paying out fraudulent claims. And so what we announced is we're going to have to slow the process down to protect taxpayers, not just taxpayers, the financial bottom line. Taxpayers don't want us spending out fraudulent claims, but also protect small businesses who may have been taken advantage by these aggressive promoters.
Well, I appreciate that. But the guidance is the key to all these things as we go through it. And these are very complicated issues, but there are people who filed believing that this was going to be taken care of. And you're on hold, and you don't know. It makes it very difficult for people then to actually file their claims at the end of every year. Just one thing covered real quickly. The direct file program. So we've had people in the private sector running this, and I think we've had great success with it. Why did the IRS get involved in this? Yeah. And what is it that we're trying to achieve? And listen, you're down to 1 second. I don't expect an answer that quickly, but if you get back to me in that, because I think that is a legitimate question of if we have all these available already through the private sector, and we're talking about money being well spent, well, I think it's already there for people. I don't understand what role the IRS would have in that, and I don't question the fact that you think you could help. It's already there. Thank you. I yield back, sir.